Hello, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I mostly talk about business growth and other business opportunity. If you actually missed my video where I spoke about what every entrepreneur needs to know in order for him or her to scale up their business, then I will urge you to go to my YouTube channel and watch that video, because that video is going to complement this very webinar I am about to start right now. So in this webinar, I'll be talking about branding as an important tool in business growth. So my name is Ibrahim Faisal Abdullahi and I am a digital business consultant. So do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also click the ring button there so that whenever I upload a new video, you can be able to be notified. So let's talk about branding. So what's this branding we are talking about? The thing here is, whenever you hear the word branding as an individual, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? So most at times when I ask this question, I get people say things like branding is packaging, branding is logo, branding is printing and outlook, branding is this, branding is that. So let me tell you what branding actually is. The summary of the entire idea of branding is simply captured by a single word, and that word is experience. So branding is the positive perception of a company, product or services. It is the experience that creates the perception in the hearts of people or the patronizers. It is this experience that help people categorize and grade the class of your business or place your business where it belongs to. It is this same experience that helps people determine in their mind what value you should be paid for the services you render. So the difference between a cup of coffee that goes for 5,000 naira in Transcorp Hotel and a cup of coffee that goes for 500 naira just few meters across the street is just the experience. Yes, the cup of coffee that goes for 500 naira might even be sweeter than that of that 5,000 naira, but the one of 5,000 naira is more expensive, and that is because of the experience. That is because of the brand Transcorp Hotel. So in other words, branding is a sum total of the perception people have about a particular product or services from their own experience. So every element of branding and every aspect of it is very, very important. There is no particular aspect of branding that is more important than the other. So as a matter of fact, big organizations have brand alignment officers, and the role of these officers is to ensure that the organization is in good light in the eyes of everyone at every point, because branding is what people perceive. It is the perception of people about your product or services, and that is the work of the brand alignment officer to actually see that that organization, that industry is in good light in the eyes of everyone. So this brings us to the next thing I want to talk about, which is the elements of branding. So there are three basic elements of branding, and we call these elements of branding, these three basic elements, the identifiers, the attributes, and association. These three elements of branding makes up every great brand you see out there. You understand? So the identifiers and the attributors bring about the association. That means out of the three elements, the identifiers and the attributors are the most important. I did not say association is not important, but the identifier and the attributors are what brings about the association, and this makes them the most important. So what is this identifiers we are talking about? These identifiers are the relatable elements of a brand that you can see or touch or feel. And these identifiers are the brand name, the brand logo, the tagline, the typeface, logo positioning, brand colors, sounds, etc. etc. There are other things, but these are the most important aspect of the identifiers. So when we are talking about the brand name, what do we actually mean? The brand name is whatever you call your brand, or the name of your business, or the name of your products. That is your brand name. So one of the reasons why I believe branding goes way beyond products, it is because it is the summation of the perception of an individual about your industry, about your products, about a particular brand based on the individual's experience. That is why I believe branding goes way beyond just the products. So I always used to advise people, my clients, that whatever name they want to choose for their brand or business, it should be short and precise, and it should be a name that people can easily remember. It should be a name that is memorable. So it is in other words, the name should be easy to remember, because the attention span of humans keep reducing day by day, and if you can't help but get a long name, then look for a way to abbreviate that name. Now, for instance, Guarantee Trust Bank is being abbreviated to GTB Bank. United Bank of Africa, which is also a long name, is being abbreviated to UBA Bank. But the truth of the matter is, most people just know the acronyms and don't even know the full meaning of what GTB is, or UBA is, or whatsoever popular abbreviations we have out there. It is simply because their brain is wired to identify things easily. Like, nobody wants to stress his or herself just to identify the name of your brand. If the name of your brand is not easy for people, they will easily forget the name of your brand. In other words, you can use generic name in most cases. Yes, so that there are no ethnic affiliation and biasness associated with your brand. So, however, there are few exceptions to this. If you are dealing with indigenous products, you might have to skip this aspect of using a generic name, but try to make it simple. When I say indigenous products, I mean our local products that is bearing our local names. Let me give you an example, like Odogu Bitters. It's like an indigenous product, and you see it's a local name. There is no point in, like, trying to make it short or anything. So that's why I say you might skip this. So now let's talk about logo. What is this logo all about? Logo is a graphical representation of that your brand. You understand? It could be the name written in a particular manner or typeface, like we see in Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has no any specific logo. It has no any special logo. It's just the name Coca-Cola written in a specific manner. So it could be like a big orange square or a tiny white square, like we see in GT Bank. It could also be an apple half eaten. That is in the case of Apple products. Whatever you choose, make it something people can recognize, and don't make your logo too complex. Now, this is the Coca-Cola typeface we are talking about. Coca-Cola, they have been maintaining this since the 18th century. They have not changed this their typeface, and this is the GT Bank logo we're talking about. Just a white square at the top right corner of anything, and this is the Apple logo we're talking about. Anywhere you see Apple, what comes to your mind first is the Apple products. So you see, it's kind of easier for you to remember. Now, what the next thing I will be talking about is tagline. So what is this tagline? That tagline is simply your brand promise, encapsulated in the shortest form possible. This is what most of us call motto. Yes, most of us call it motto. So I think the most common used tagline is "In God We Trust." I stand to be corrected, of course, but this is the most common thing, like "In God We Trust," "In God We Trust." It's the most common motto we know. But we have other companies with other tagline, like Sony. Their tagline is "Make Believe." What they are actually saying is that when they make a product, you have to believe it, or they make you believe it. Yes, you have to believe it, or they make you believe the impossible, and every day they work towards achieving this. So the question here is, you as an individual, you as a business owner, what is your tagline? What is your brand promise? What is the motto of your business? You should ask yourself this question. So the other thing I would want to talk about is the typeface. Yes, these are all parts of the identifiers. I showed you what a typeface is, like that of Coca-Cola here. This is a typeface. It's not a logo, it's not a design, it's just something written in like a special manner or a special way of writing it. So away from tagline, let's talk about the typeface. One of the key ingredients in branding is consistency. Yes, that is why it's important to put all these things in place and use them consistently and maintain consistency wherever they are used. Wherever these things are used, it is used to distinguish you from your competitors. So there is no business, product or services that you are involved in that there are no one else there. You can't be the only one doing the business you are doing. That is why one of the key ingredients of branding is consistency. So having a proper typeface also makes you stand out. Typeface typeface too is dependent on the industry you operate. You understand? So permit me to add that branding seek ways to pass the message across in relation to human psychology, which brings me to the next 2 points. What do I mean by it passes the message? Now let's go back to the Sony tagline here, make believe. Now this is passing the information that Sony is going to make you believe it, or you have to believe it, or they make you believe the impossible. That is the message Sony is trying to pass down here. Now, in this other tagline where they say in God we trust, they are trying to pass the information that whatever company has that tagline, their sole trust is being placed in God. Of course, if you are someone who has faith, you know the belief in God is the first attribute of faith. So the next 2 points I said we are going to talk about is the logo positioning. Yes, this is also very, very important in aspect of branding. Many people don't observe this a lot, but it is one of the easiest way to detect a fake brand from an original brand. Now, let me give you for example. In GT Bank, GT Guaranteed Trust Bank never places its logo elsewhere unless at the top right corner of their building, or their diary, or their deposit slip, or their ATM screen. Just take note of this. Wherever you see a GT Bank, excuse me, wherever you see a GT Bank, try to look at their logo positioning. Or wherever you see anything related to GT Bank, try to look where they embed their logo. So you should cast your mind now and you'll see what I'm saying right now. You should just try to recall anywhere you saw GT Bank, anything. But if you have one in your room, you can just check and just to authenticate what I'm saying right now. So many people may think it's a coincidence, but now you should know that it is not. It is well thought of, and they maintain the consistency across board, across anything that belongs to GT Bank. That is why I said the most key ingredient of branding is consistency. So the next thing here is okay. This is a perfect example. Now, if you look at the building of GT Bank here, this is the top right corner of the building. Now look at their ATM card. Their logo is placed at the top right corner of their ATM card. Okay, this ATM machine is kind of blurry, but this ATM machine belongs to GT Bank. And if you look at the top right corner of the screen, it is where the logo is being placed. So GT Bank never misses this out because it is their brand, it is their consistency. They have created consistency for this over time. So anywhere that you see GT Bank logo placed anywhere apart from the top right corner of their building, you should be able to ask a question. Your mind should tell you there's something wrong. So as a matter of fact, most serious brand caution cautious their organization. Okay, sorry, I'm missing the words here. Most serious brand cautious organization have a document called brand bible or brand book. Yes, the document contains everything you need to know about the brand outlook of that organization, from the typeface to how the logo is being positioned to whatsoever related to branding. It is in that brand bible. They give it to the vendors when they are contracting them to study them carefully, so that the set standards are maintained in process of the job execution. The consistency should be maintained. So anywhere you see GT logo positioned elsewhere other than the top right corner of the building, doubts should begin to creep in. You should begin to ask questions. You understand? It could be an error, it could be an error on the part of the person who placed the logo, but in most cases, when it happens, you are dealing with a counterfeit. So you can choose any position to position your logo: top left, top right, middle, down. Anywhere you want to position your logo, you can position it. But make sure that once you start positioning your logo, you should maintain consistency, because it is the key ingredients to branding. So another important thing here is the brand colors. In branding, there is a thing we call the psychology of colors. Yes, what this implies is that I can get you to perceive me in a particular way just by the use of color, or I can get you to act in a particular way just with the use of colors. So how many of you notice that Infinite always uses red background and font colors in most of their adverts? How many of you noticed that? So why do they do such things? It is not a coincidence. Even though red is not in their core brand colors, the reason is simply the first color a child. Now, this is what we're talking about, the psychology of a color. The first color a child is able to identify at birth is the color red, and their targets are kids. So that is why they use the colors to capture the attention of kids. In the psychology of color, red is a stimulant, something that makes you act in a way that you know act you something that makes you act in a way. That is why most food business or quick service restaurant uses the red color. So now you should also cast your mind and begin to maintain the brand in these industries that uses the color red. Now the Mr. Biggs, KFC, Kilimanjaro, Chicken Republic, Domino's, Cold Stone, like there are a lot of these places that use red color as their brand color. So yellow is a complementary color stimulant, hence most of them use red and yellow. Now let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's minimize a little and come online here, and let's look for Kilimanjaro. Okay, let's look for Kilimanjaro restaurant in Abuja. You see what I'm talking about. Kilimanjaro. Okay, sorry, my network is okay. As you can see, Kilimanjaro here, it's red in color. Everything about Kilimanjaro is red in color. Now, okay, this is it, red in color. Now let's look for KFC. And you notice we are saying the same thing. And of course, you know that of Mr. Biggs. That is not hidden. It's a popular thing. You know, Mr. Biggs is always red in color. As you can see, KFC too, red in color. And let's just check Mr. Biggs too. Mr. Biggs. Let's check Mr. Biggs and see what I'm talking about. Mr. Biggs. Okay. Aha. So you see Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs is also having red color, and Mr. Biggs has the yellow color incorporated in it. So what we are talking about here, as you can see, I've showed you the facts, I've showed you how it is. So in branding, we make you see things even when you are not aware of it. In other words, our subconsciousness registers it even when you are not aware. Let me tell you a little story. There was a day I was coming down from Zaria. Zaria is a place in Kaduna State. I was coming down from Zaria to Abuja, and I left Zaria early in the morning that day. We're passing through Kaduna. I and my friend was the one driving at that time, were both hungry, and it was so early in the morning that we don't even know where to stop and eat. Then we came past across a place in Kaduna. I think is it 313 restaurant or something like that. When we passed the restaurant, nobody paid attention to it until one of us said, "I am hungry," and that is when I remember that, oh, we came across a building with a red color. That building should definitely be a restaurant. Then we took a U-turn and go back to that restaurant to get food. So you see the psychology of color. You see how your brain opens a file and reminds you that you drove past a particular eatery at a particular day and you go back there to eat. That is the psychology of color. So you can't have a female related brand and not have pink color inculcated in your colors. So same with green in agriculture. The list is endless. You can check for the colors related to what kind of business you are doing online and you're going to get it. So colors improve brand recognition by 80%. So do not select colors randomly when choosing color for your brand. So now the last part we did not talk about is sound. Most brands create unique or signature sound to be able to differentiate their brand from their competitors out there. So if you notice towards the end of MTN advert, you hear something like MTN everywhere, everywhere you go. Like every brand has that sound. Same goes to Samsung, same goes to Nokia. Nokia has the popular sound, you can remember that easily. So with this, we have come to the end of the identifiers, and let's move on to the next element of branding, which is the attributes. So, just like I said, the combination of the attribute and the identifiers gives rise to the association, which which we refer to as brand perception. While the identifiers are more concerned with the physical aspect of branding, the attributes are more inanimate, as the cases may be. You understand? So the attributes are the organizational culture, the brand personality of the owner, the brand space, the website and social media outlook, the staff outlook, the organogram, etc. These are called the attributes of branding. Now, we cannot talk about all of them right now. We will just pick two of these attributes, and the ones we'll be picking are the organizational culture and the brand personality of the brand owner. So let's start with the brand personality of the brand owner. So most people are not aware that a business brand enjoys symbiotic relationship with owners brand personality, and the brand personality enjoys a symbiotic relationship with the business, just vice versa. I'm going to explain that to you. So when you're growing your business brand, it is also important to grow your personal brand. Yes, there are times your business will benefit immensely from your personal brand, and there are times when your personal brand will benefit immensely from your business. That's why I say they are vice versa. So I hear people make statements like, "What I wear doesn't matter." Is it not just to deliver the job? No, no, it's not just to deliver the job. People address you how you dress. So the truth is that you can't attract certain pedigree of jobs, no matter how skilled you are, until you become deliberate about it and you upgrade your skill set. So for you to be able to do business with kings, you must understand their language. You must understand how they think. You must understand how they live. For a start, work on your diction. Seriously. I know some of us have this mother tongue defects, but if we are deliberate about it, it can be worked upon. So first of all, be a person that brings value to the table at every given point in time by the words you speak, the way you relate to people. Never be a parasite, even when you are in the midst of those richer than you. You should take note of that. Most people think wealthy individuals don't like gifts, and so they expect to be the ones receiving at the end of the point in any time instead of giving. So, from time to time, improve your relationship and networking skills. Yes, this is very important in business, it's very important in branding. So you need to be intentional about the company you keep also. If your potential client jogs every morning to keep fit, then you have no business remaining in bed by 7 a.m. Yes, you need to go out there and hunt your potential clients. I just hope you get what I'm trying to say. So, learning how to dress is important too. Your combination should be good too also. So let me share a few tips. There are individuals who are known as power dressers. What this means is that they make statements without opening their mouth with their dresses. And one of those people are Tony Elumelu. He is one of those people. He dresses mostly in black. We spoke about the psychology of colors earlier. Black and navy blue are powerful colors and are attributed to masculinity in dressing. They are attributed to masculinity in dressing. So most people who want to assert that level of influence are always found sporting any of these colors. You can look up most of Tony Elumelu's dressing. Yes, that Tony Elumelu always wears a black suit and a black shoe, except maybe he's out for sports or anything else. And so does Opera. I don't know if you know Opera. I'm going to show you who Opera is right now. So this is Tony Elumelu. As you can see, he's wearing a navy blue suit here. And I want you to observe something here. I want you to observe something here with his legs. With his legs. He's wearing a navy blue suit here. Look at the color of his socks. He's wearing a gray suit here. Look at the color of his socks. He's wearing a black suit here. Look at the color of his socks. This can't be a coincidence at all. This can't be a coincidence. So I'm yet to see any presidential fleet that has any color of cars apart from black. Check anywhere. Check anywhere. So what this tells you is that the individual occupies a serious office, and one very good way is telling you that, or the one very good way of telling you that is through the color. Yes, most of the world's expensive cars comes in black or gray. So these colors tells you that they are rare and are expensive too. So little wonder the most expensive card anyone can ever have is the black card. So why is it black? What is that trying to tell you? So let me not digress too much. Let's come back to Tony Elumelu. One thing about Tony is that he wears a red socks always. Yes, and I showed you earlier, I said this cannot be a coincidence. He's wearing a red socks here in a plane, wearing a red socks here, and also wearing a red socks here. What does this mean? The red socks he's wearing represent his UBA brand. In case you don't know, Tony Elumelu is the Chief Executive Officer of UBA Bank. So he also wear a lot of red tie, especially when he's going for UBA functions, and grey tie when he's going for Transcorp functions. Now, if you look here, he's wearing a red tie. He's also wearing a red tie in this image, and he is also wearing a red tie here. This cannot be a coincidence. These people are deliberate about their brand. They are deliberate about their personal brand, and they are deliberate about the brands of their company. So remember, I told you a lot of consistency and intentionality is involved. Yes, you cannot be wearing red socks today and tomorrow they are seeing you with white socks, next tomorrow they are seeing you with black socks. No, consistency is what makes people to observe. Oh, this is the reason why this person is doing this, and this is the reason, or this is what this person is representing. I always advise people, be known for one thing first, then later in the future you can diversify. So what happened is that people associate your track record to whatever endeavor you are involved in. So if you need to take that online course or whatsoever thing you want to do, take it now. Take that course now. So let's talk briefly on organizational culture, and let's wrap it up from here. So every well-meaning organization or brand should have a brand character. Yes. When I mention or talk about Apple, what is the thing that comes to your mind? Apple both as a product and as a company. The things that will come to your mind are things like innovation, are things like durability, are things like luxury. Apple is a luxury brand, and are things like phone. You understand? Expensive. That's the things that is going to come to your mind when you hear the word Apple. So these are perception formed from both consistencies as a brand and having what is known as a brand character. You understand? And this brand character is that which stems from organizational culture. It means it is the culture of that organization. These things are being deliberate. Branding is very versatile. Branding is very versatile. We can be talking about branding for 24 hours and we are not going to cover everything about branding. So branding is very versatile. So most serious minded brands have high value for their employees. Yes, as they feel that they are the engine that drives that industry. They are the engine that drives the vehicles. You understand? Hence, organizations such as Microsoft give paternity leave as well as maternity leave. I hope you know what a paternity leave is. It's a leave a man goes for whenever his wife puts to bed. Maternity leave is a leave a woman goes for when she puts to bed. So if your wife puts to bed, they give you 2 to 3 months to go and look after your wife and your newborn baby. This is an organizational character. This is an organizational character. These people are deliberate about this, and this will make your staff to be very happy with where he or she is working. Now, Steve Jobs, the late CEO of Apple, he introduced a meeting with his top executives, where at every point of the meeting, everyone must come up with a new idea. You understand? This tradition is being held up even after he passed away. So if the idea is worth giving a shot, they fund it and the employee gets to benefit financially. Why do you think Apple releases the version of their product every year? Because of something like this. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. This is an organizational character. So what this does is that it keeps employees always bubbly with new idea for the brand, and this makes them never run out of innovations. That is why Apple will never run out of innovation. That is why Samsung will never run out of innovation. So you need to find out what works for you and make it count. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where I will draw the curtain for this webinar on branding. If you want to know more about branding, you can do well by going online to or go on YouTube or check other videos that speaks about branding. I told you earlier, branding is very large. Branding is versatile. We cannot finish talking about branding. We cannot. So I'm going to draw the curtain here. I believe with what I have mentioned in this video or with what I have said in this video, it will help you set a pace or have or take a step in creating a brand for your personal self and your business or your industry. So we've come to the end of this webinar, and do not forget to watch my video on whatever entrepreneur needs to know. It's going to be very helpful to you. It's going to help you see some mistakes you've been making in your business that has been bringing your business down, mistakes you are not aware of. So I'll urge you to go back and watch that video. So with this, I will say see you in my next video. Thank you very much.